Whilom, as all the stories tell us, there was a doom that hit to Theseus. Of Athens he was lord and governor, and in his team a swinge conqueror, that greater was there none under the sun. Full many a rich country had he won. What with his wisdom and his chivalry, he conquered all the reign of Femini, that whilom was a gleiping city, and wedded at the queen Hippolyta, and brought her home with him in his country, with much glory and great solemnity, and the her youngest sister Emily. And thus with victory and with melody, let this noble doom to Athens read, and all his host in arms him beside. And certes, if it ne'er too long to hear, I would have told you fully the manner, who wonnen was the reign of Femini, be Theseus and be his chivalry. And of the great battle for the nuns, betwixt Athens and Amazonas, and who assuaged was Hippolyta, the fair hardy queen of Scythia. And of the feast that was at her wedding, and of the tempest at her homecoming. But all that thing I måndas nu forbear. I have a god won a larger feld to air, and wake ben the oxen in me plug. The remnant of the tall is long enough. I will not let the make none of this round. Let every fellow tell his talabund, and let se nu who shall the sunder win. And there he left I will again begin. This dug of whom me manka mention, when he was come almost unto the tune, in all his wail and in his most pride, he was whereas he cast his eye aside, where that there knailed in the heich away, a compagnie of ladies, tway and tway, each after other clad in clothes blank, but switch a cree and switch a woe they mang, that in this world, this creature living, that here the switch another way menting, and of this cree they no never stenten, till they the reines of his brinel henten. What folk bin ye that at min homecoming, perturben so me feste with creeing? Quod Theseus, have ye so great in vie of min honor, that thus complain and cree? Or what hath you misboden or offended? And telleth me if it may ben amended, and we that ye been clothed thus in blank. The eldest laddie of them all spank, when she had swooned with a deadly cheer, that it was Ruth of her to sin and hair. She said, Lord, to whom fortune hath given victory, and as a conqueror to live in. Not crave this your glory and your honour, but we besake in mercy and succour. Have mercy on our woe and our distress, some drop of pity, thirk thee gentilesse, upon us wretched women let thou fall. For certes, Lord, there is none of us all, that shaneth ben a duchess or a queen. Nu be we caitivis, as it is well said, that get be fortune and her false whale, that none stand assureth to be well. And certes, Lord, to abide in your presence, here in this temple of the goddess Clemens, we have been waiting all this for the night. Nu help us, Lord, sit it is in the maid. You wretch, which that wame and waileth us, was whilom weave to King Abanius, that starved at Thebes, cursed be that day. And all waited ben in this array, and maken on this lamentation, we lost in all our husbands at that tune, while that the sage at their abunda lay. And yet knew the old Creon well away, that Lord is new of Thebes the city, fulfilled of ire and of iniquity, he for the spin and for his tyranny, to do the deed upon his villainy, of all their lordes which that ben is slow, had all the bodies on him I draw, and will not suffering him be none ascend, neither to ben buried nor brand, but maketh hunnes ate him in the spind. And with that word, with unten maror respind, they fell in groove and creeden piteously, have on us wretched women some mercy, and let our sorrow sinken in thin herte. this gentle dugdun from his courser sterta, with herde pittus, when he herde hem spenga. In thuchte that his herde wilde brenga, when he zag him so pittus and so mand, that willum weren off so great stand. And in his armes he him all uphenta, and him converteth in full good intenta, and swore his oath, as he was true knecht, he wilde doen so vervaartly his mecht, upon the tyrant Creon him to renga, that all the people of Greece shall despenga, who Creon was of Theseus his servant, as he that had his death full well deserving. And richt anon, with unten mar abold, his banner he displayed and verthrone, to Thebes ward and all his host besieda. No near Athens wild he go, ne rida, ne tank his ease fully half a day, but onward on his way that nicht he lay, and sent anon Hippolyta the queen, and Emily her younge sister Shena, and to the tune of Athens to dwell, and forth he rent, there is no more to tell. The red statue of Mars with spear and tarja, so shineth in his wind a banner larger, that all the field is glittering up and down. And be his banner born is his pennoon, of gold full range, in which there was a bend, the Minotaur which that he won and craned. Thus rid this dung, thus rid this conqueror, and then his host of chivalry the floor, till that he come to Thebes and the lichta, fair in a field, there as he thuchta to fichta. But shortly for to speaking of this thing, with Creon, which that was of Thebes king, he fought and slew him manly as a knecht, in plain battle, and put to the folk to flicht, and be assault he won the city after, and rent doon both the wall and spar and rafter, and to the laddies he restored again the bonus of her friends that were slain, to don obsequious as was to the cheese. But it were all too long for to the visa, the great clamour and the women ting, the pelleties man that the brenning of the bodies and the grand honour, that Theseus, the noble conqueror, doth to the laddies when they from him went. But shortly for to tell is mine intent. When that is where the Duke, this Theseus, hath Creon slain and won Thebes thus, still in that field he took on nicht his rest, and did with all the country as him lest. To ransack in the task of body is dead, him for to strip of harness and of weight, the pillars did in business and cure, after the battle and discomfiture. And so befell that in the task they found, there girt with many grievous bloody wound, to a younge knechtes leeching be and be. Both in non armes rachtful richely, of which it wo Arcite hichte that on, and that of their knecht hichte Palomon. Not fully quick, ne fully dead they were, but be her got the armors and be her gear, the hair of the knew him best in special, as they that weren of the blood royal, of Thebes and of Saturn twa born. Out of the task the pillars han him torn, and han him carried soft unto the tent of Theseus, and hateful son him sent to Athens to dwell in prison perpetually in all the no ransom. And when this worthy dung hath thus done, it took his host, and home he reigned anon, with laurel crowned as a conqueror, and there he liveth in joy and in honour. Term of his leave, what needeth word small, and in a tour, in anguish and in woe, this Palomon and his fellow are seen, forevermore, there may no gold him quit. This passeth year be year, and day be day, till it will own us in a morrow of May, that Emily, that fairer was the sin, than is the lily upon his stalk a green, and fresher than the May with flowers new, for with the rose a colour strove here a hue, in note which was the finer of him twa. Ere it were a day, as was here one to do, she was a reason and already dicht, for me will I have no slagger day a nicht. The season bricketh every gentle heart, and marketh it out of his limb to stert, and saith, Arise, and doth in observance. This marked Emily have remembrance, to do honor to me, and for to reason. Clothed was she fresh for to the visa, her yellow hair was broidered in a tress, behind her back a yard long I guess. And in the garden at the sun upprista, she walketh up and down, and as her lista, she gathereth flores party wind and rain, to mank a subtle garland for her hand, and as an angel heavenishly she sung. The great tour that was so thick and strong, which of the castle was the chief on June, there as the knechte swearing in presume, of which he told you and tellen shall, was even joined unto the garden wall, there as this Emily had a here playing. Bright was the sun and clear that morning, and Palomon, this woeful prisoner, as was his wonder, believe of his jailer, was risen and roaming in a chamber on high, in which he all the noble city saw, and eke the garden full of branches green. There as this fresh Emily the shin, was in her walk and roamed and down. The sorrowful prisoner, this Palomon, within the chamber roaming to and fro, and to himself complaining of its woe, that he was born full of his sin, alas, and so befell the aventure or cause, that through your window think of many a bar, of ear and grain and squares and his bar, he cast his eye upon Amelia, and therewithal he blamed and cried as though his tongue were unto the heart. And with that cry seemed anon upstairt, and said, Cousin mine, what aileth thee, that art so pale and deadly unto say? We criedest too, who hath thee done offence? For God's lund hang all in patience, or a prison, for it may none other be. Fortune hath given us this adversity, som winga spegnar disposition of Saturn, vi som konstellation, att given oss this, although we had it sworn, so stod the heaven when that we were born. We must endure, this is the short and plain. This Palomon and sweared and said again, Cousin, forsooth of this opinion, thou hast a vain imagination. This prison caused me not for to cry, but he was hurt rich nu throughout min ear, into min heart that all me banna be. The fairness of that lady that he say, yonder in the garden roaming to and fro, is cause of all me crying and me woe. In nought where she be woman or goddess, but Venus is it sooth me, as I guess. And therewithal on knees stood he fell, and said, Venus, if it be thee will, you in this garden thus to transfigure, before me, sorrowful wretched creature, out of this prison helm that we may scapen. And if so be my destiny beschapen, be eterne word to den in prison, of our lineage have some compassion, that is so low I bracht be tyranny. And with that word seemed again a spear, whereas this laddie roamed to and fro, and with that sight her beauty hurt him so, that if that Palomon was wounded sore, Arcite is hurt as much as he, or more. And with the sick he said piteously, the fresh beauty slayeth me suddenly, of her that roameth in the yonder plaza. And but he had her mercy and her grace, that he may send her at least away, in ambuten, there is no more to say. This Palomon, when he the words heard, this piteously he looked and answered, whether says to this in earnest or in play. Ne corner seen, in earnest be me fay, God help me so, me listful evil a play. This Palomon gan knind his bruist way. It's near, quod he, to thee no great honour, for to be false, ne for to be in traitor, to me, that am the cousin and the brother, is sworn full dame, and each of us till other, that never for to deal in the pain, till that the death depart shall us twain, ne there of us in love to hinder other. They in none other gas me leve brother, but that thou shalt truly farthrin me, in every gas as ye shall farthrin thee. This was thin oath, and men also certain, I wot recht well, thou darst not with sin. Dus art du af me kunsel ut av dunta, and nu thou aldus falsi benna bunta, do lova me ladi, ho me luv and serva, and evre shall til that min herda sterva. Ne certes false Arcite, thou shalt not so. I loved her first, and told they me woe, as told me kunsel and me brother sworn, do fartre me as I have told beforn. For which thou art gebunden as a knecht, do helpen me if it lay in thee mecht, or else art thou false I dar will sein. This Arcite full prudly spake again, thou shalt, quod be rather false than I, and thou art false, I telleth thee utrely, for paramour I loved her first thou. What wilt thou sayn? Thou was not yet know, whether she be a woman or goddessa, thin is affection of holiness, and meanes love as to a creature, for which I told thee min aventure, as to me cousin and me brother sworn. I posed that thou lovedest her beforn, was thou not well the old clerk saw, that who shall give a lover any law. Love is a greater law, be me pan, than may be gave to any earthly man. And therefore a positive law and switch decree is broken all day for love in each degree. A man moet need his love, malgré his hen, he may not fleinen, though he shall be den, albeit she maid or widow or else weave. And it is not likely all thee leave, to standen in her grassa, na mar shall I, for well thou wast thee selven verily, that thou and I be damned to presume, perpetually os gaineth no ransom. We strive as did the hundes for the bone, they fought all day, and yet her part was known. There came a kind, while that they were so wroth, and bar away the bone betwixt them both. And therefore the king is court, me brother, each man for himself, there is none other. Love if they list, for I love, and they shall, and sothly live brother, this is all. Here in this prison moult away endure, and average of his tongue his aventure. Great was the strife, and long betwixt them twae, if that he had a lesser for to say. But though he fanged, it happened on a day, to tell it you as shortly as he may, a worthy doom that hichte Protheus, that fell how was untold uk Theseus, sin thilke day that they were children meanta, was come to Athens his fellow to vicinta, and for to play as he was wont to do, for in this world he loved no man so, and he loved him most tenderly again. So well they loved as all the book is saying, that one that own was den, sothly to tell, his fellow went and sucht him down in hell. But of that story list me not to read. Duc Theseus loved well Arcite, and had him knew what Thebes year be year, and finally at request and prayer of Protheus without any ransom, Duc Theseus him led out of prison, freely to go where that him list over all, in switch a geese as you tell and shall. This was the forward, plainly for tendinta, betwixt Theseus and him Arcite, that if so were that Arcite were refunda, ever in his life be day or nicht or stunda. In any country of the Theseus, and he were caught, it was accorded thus, that with a sword he should lays his hand. There was none other remedy ne reigned, but taketh his leave and homeward he him spend. Let him beware his neck lith to wend. Whom great sorrow suffereth nu Arcite, the death he faileth through his heart asmeend. He weepeth, waileth, crieth piteously, to slain himself he waiteth privily. He said, alas that day that he was born, nu is me prison worse than before, nu is me shop eternally to dwell, not in purgatoria, but in hell. Alas, that ever knew I Theseus, for else had he dwelled with Theseus, if fettered in his prison evermore. Then had he been in bliss and not in woe. Only the sicht of Hera whom that he serve, though that he never her grassa may deserve, would han so feesed richt in nucht for me. O dear cousin Palomon, God he, then is the victory of this aventure. Full blissfully in prison mayst du dure, in prison, certes nay, but in paradise, will hath fortune eterned the days, that has the sicht of here, and the absence. For possibly, since thou hast here a presence, and art a knecht, a worthy and an able, that be some cause in fortune is changeable, thou mayst of thee desire some time attain. But that am exiled and barren, of all grass and in so great despair, that there is earth, water, fear, ne air, ne creature that of him maked is, that may help or done comfort in this, will ook die sterven wanhoop and distress. Farewell me life, me lust and me gladness. Alas, we plain folk so in commune, on prevails of God or of fortune, that geveth him full oft in many a guise, well better than they can himself devise. Some man desireth for to han richesse, that causes of his murder or great sickness, and some man walded off his prison fain, that in his house is of his maidne slain. Infinite harm is been in this matter. We witten not what thing we pray and hear. We far in his head that drunk is as a moose. A drunken man wot well he hath an house, but he not which the richte way is thither, and to a drunken man the way is slither. And certes in this world so far and way, we seeking fast after felicity, but we gone wrong full often truly. Thus may we say in all and namely that when den had a great opinion, that if he michte skapen from prison, then had he been in joy and perfect hell, there nu he am exilen from me well. Sin that he may not send you, Emily, in but then there is no remedy. Upon that other side of Palomon, when that he wist Arcite was a gone, with sorrow he maketh that the great tour resoundeth of his howling and clamour. The pure fetters on his sheen as grained, wherein of his bitter sound the terrors waned. Alas, quoth he, Arcite, cousin mean, of all our strife God won't the rudest thing. Thou walkest nu in Thebes at the large, and of me woe thou gevest little charge. Thou mayst, since thou hast wisdom and manhed, assembling all the folk of Urken reda, and make aware so sharp on this city, that be some aventure or some treaty, thou mayst have here to laddie and to weave, for whom that he must needs lays a me leave. For as be way of possibility, sith thou art at the large of prison free, and art the Lord, great is din avantage, more than is mean that sterve here in a cage. For remote way man well will he live, with all the woe that prison may give, and ache with pain that love may giveth us so, that doubleth all me torment and me woe. Therewith the fear of jealousy upstirred within his breast, and hent him by the heart, so wildly that he link was to behold, the bongstry o'er the ashen dead and cold. Then said he, O cruel goddess that govern this world with binding of your word eternal, and written in the table of at the mound, your parliament and your eternal ground, what is mankind more unto you hold, than is the shame that rooketh in the fold? For slain is man rich as another beast, and dwelleth eke in prison and arrest, and hath sickness and great adversity, and oft the teams guiltless per day. What governance is in this prescience, that guiltless tormenteth innocence? and yet increaseth this on me penance, that man is bonden to his observance, for God is sang to letten of his will, there as a best may all his lust fulfill. And when a best is dead, he hath no pain, but man after his death mote wame and plain, though in this world he have a car and woe, without and dood it may stand and so. The answer of this lady to the Venus, but well he wot that in this world great penis. Alas, he say a serpent or a thief, that many a true man hath done mischief, gone at his large, and where him list may turn. But he mot ben in prison through Saturn, and eke through Juno, jealous and eke wold, that hath destroyed well nigh all the blood of Theseus with his vaste walls weed. And Venus slayeth me on that other side, for jealousy and fear of him Arcite. Nu all his stint of Palomon alenta, and laid him in his prison still a dwell, and of Arcite for the all you tell. The summer passeth and the night is longer, in crescent dumbla is the pain is stronger, both of the lover and the prisoner, in note which hath the wofuller mister. For shortly for to say this Palomon perpetually is damned to prison, in chains and in fetters to been dead, and Arcite is exiled upon his head, for evermore as und of that country, ne nevermore ne shall his land is say. You lover sanks in nu this question, who hath the worst, Arcite or Palomon, that one may say his laddie day by day, but in prison he mote dwell alway, that other where him list may read or go, but saying his laddie shall he never more. Nu dame it as you list, ye that can, for he who will tell forth as he began. When that Arcite to Thebes coming was, full of the day he swelled and saying alas, for saying his laddie shall he never more. And surely to conclude all his woe, so much sorrow had never a creature, that is or shall, will that the world may dure. His slave, his maid, his drink is him berammed, that laden he winks and drink as is a shant. His eye and hull one grisly to behold, his hair with fallow and pale as ashen cold, and solitary he was and ever alone, and wailing of the night making his moan. And if he heard a song or instrument, then while he waved he michte not bestand. So feeble were his spirits and so low, and changed so that no man could it know, his speech and or his voice though men it heard. And in his care for all the world he fared, not only like the lover's malady of Herios, but rather like mania, and gently of humor melancholique, before him in his cell fantastique. And shortly turned was alum so doon, both abbot and eke disposition of him, this woeful lover down Arcite. What shall the all day of his woe indeed? When he endured had a year or two, this cruel torment and this pain and woe, at Thebes in his country as he said, upon a night in slave as he him laid, him thought who that the winged god Mercury, before him stoned and bade him to be mury. His slave beard in hand he bar a brichte, and had he weared upon his hair a sprichte. Already was this god as him tog came, as he was one that Argus tog his slain, and said him thus, to Athens shall to wend, there is the shapen of the woe an end. And with that word Arcite woe and stared. Nu truly who saw that mismerd, quod he to Athens richt nu while he far, ne for the train of death shall he not spare, to say me laddie that he love and serve. In her presence he reached not to sterve. And with that word he caught a great mirror, and saw that changed was at his colour, and saw his visage all in another kind. And richting on it ran him in his mind, that saith his face was so disfigured of malady the which he had endured. He michte well if that he bar him low, live in Athens evermore on knue, and saying his laddie well ni day be day. And richten on he challenged his array, and clad him as a povre laborer, and all alone save only a squire, that knew his privity and all his cause, which was disguised poverly as he was, to Athens is he gone the next way. And to the court he went upon a day, and at the gant he proffereth his service, to drug and draw what so men will devise. And shortly of this matter for to sin, he fell in office with a chamberlain, the which that dwelling was with Emily, for he was wise and could the son espy of every servant which that serveth here. Well could he hew and wound and water bear, for he was young and mighty for the nuns, and thereto he was long and big of bones, to do that any wicht can him devise. A year or two he was in the service, punch off the chamber of Emily the Brichte, and Philostrand he said that he hichte. But half so well beloved a man as he, ne was there never in court of his degree. He was so gentle of condition, that third of the court was his renown. They said that it were a charity, that Theseus would enhance in his degree, and put in him in worshipful service, whereas he might his virtue exercise. And thus within a wheel his name misprung, both of his deeds and his gode tongue, that Theseus hath taken him so near, that of his chamber he made him a squire, and gave him gold to maintain his degree. And the eggman brought him out of his country, from year to year, full privily his rent, but honestly and sleely he had spent, that no man wondering who that he had. And 3 year in his ways his life he lad, and bar him so in peace and egen wear, there was no man that Theseus hath dare. And in this bliss a letty knew Arcite, and spake he wall of Palomon a lint. In darkness and horrible and strong presume, this 7 year hath Satan Palomon for pain, what for woe and for distress. Who faileth doomless sore and heaviness, but Palomon that loved distraineth so, that woe out of his wind he giveth for woe. And ink thereto he is a prisoner, perpetually, not only for a year. Who could rhyme in English properly his martyrdom, forsooth it am not I, therefore he passes lichtly as him may. It fell within the 7th year of May, the 3rd nicht, as all the bunkers saying, that all the story telling more a plain, where it be aventure or destiny, as one thing is sharpen it shall be. That soon after the midnight Palomon, be helping of a friend, brak his prison, and fled the city fast as he may go. For he had gave his jailer drink a so, of a claret mad of a certain wine, with narcoticus and opi of Thebes fine, that all that nicht, doch that men wold him shanka, the jailer slame, he michte nand a wanka. And thus he fled as fast as ever he may. The night was short and faster be the day, that nedes cost him owned himself in hida, and till a grove of faster there besida, with dreadful phone than stalketh Palomon. For surely this was his opinion, that in that grove he wolde him heed all day, and in the night then wolde he tank his way, to Thebes warn his friends for to pray, on Theseus to help him to weary. And shortly, there he wolde lays his leave, or win an Emily unto his wife. This is the effect and his intent are plain. Now all he turned to Arcite again, that lead to his knee that was his car, till that fortune had brought him in the snare. The busy lark, messenger of day, saluteth in her song the morrow grey, And fear if Webus riseth up so brecht, that on the Orient laugheth of the licht, and with his streamers drieth in the graves, the silver droppers hanging on the leaves. And Arcite, that in the court royal, with Theseus the squire principal, is risen and looketh on the Mercury day. And for to don his observance to me, remembering on the point of his desire, he on a courser, startling as the fear, is reading unto the fields him to play, out of the court where it a meal or twee. And to the grove of which that he you told, the aventure his way he gan to hold, to maken him a girland of the graves, where it a wodebind or hawthorn leves, and lood his song again the sunne sken. May, with all of the flores and the grain, will come a bethu fair, fresh May, in whom that is some grain get am And from his courser with a lusty herta, into the grove full hastily he sterta, and in a path he roameth up and down, there as be aventure this Palomon was in a bush that no man might him say, for sore affair of his death was he. Nothing neck knew he that it was Arcite, God won't he won't have trued it full linta, but so the same God sitten many years, that filled hath een and the one hath heirs. It is full fair a man to bear him evena, for round they meteth men at onset stevena. For lintel water seemed of his fellow, that was so near to herknen on his sow, for in the bush he sitteth nu full still. When that Arcite had roamed all his fill, and sungen all the rundel lustily, into a study he fell suddenly, as done these lovers in her quainte gears, nu in the krupp, nu dun in the breres, nu up, nu dun, as bucket in a well. Richt as the Friday, sothly for to tell, nu it skineth, nu it raineth fasta, rich sol can geri Venus overcasta, the hertes of her folk, richt as her day is careful, rich so changeth she a ray. Seld is the Friday of the womb kilinka. When that Arcite had sung, he gan to sing, and set him down withouten any more. Alas, quoth he, that day that he was born, how long a Juno thirk the cruelty, while to in Theseus the city. Alas, I brachtes to confusion, the blood royal of Cadmon, of Cadmus, which that was the first man, that Theseus built, or first the tune began, and of the city first was crowned king. Of his lineage am I and his offspring, be very lign as of the stock royal, and nu I am so caitiff and so thrall, that he that is my mortal enemy, is serve him as a squire poverly. And yet doth Juno may well more sham, for either nacht beknu min oen nam, but there as he was wont to hit Arcite, nu hicht die Philostrata nacht ward a minta. Alas, to fellow Mars, alas, Juno, thus hath your ear or lineage all fordo, save only me and wretched Palomon, that Theseus martyreth in prison. And over all this to slain me unterly, love hath his fiery dart so brenningly, is stiket durch me true and careful herta, that sharpen was me death erst on me sherta. Ye slain me with your ain, Emilia, ye been the cause wherefore that I die. Of all the remnant of min other cara, ne setting at the mountains of Atara, so that I could have done aught to your pleasance. And with that word he filled them in a trance, along a team, and after he upsterta. This Palomon that thuchte that durch his herta, he felt a cold sweat suddenly to glida, for ere he kwong, no longer what he bida. And one that he had heard Arcite's tale, as he were wound with face dead and pale, he stirred him up out of the busk's finger, and said, Arcite, found a traitor winker, no art to hand that lovest me laddie so, for whom that I have all this pain and woe, and art me blown, and do me counsel sworn, as I förlåt have told thee here beforn, and hast bejabed here Duke Theseus, and falsely challenged hast thee nam thus. I will be den, or else thou shalt die. Thou shalt not love me lady Emilia, but I will love her only and nam o, for I am Palomon, the mortal foe. And though that I no weapon have in this plaza, but out of prison am a stert begrassa, I dread not that other thou shalt die, or thou ne shalt not love Emilia. 'Tis which thou wilt, or thou shalt not a sterta. This Arcite with full despitus herta, when he him knew and had his tale heard, as fierce as lion pulled out his sword, and said thus, Be God that sit above, nerit that thou art sick and worn for love, and eg that thou no weapon hast in this plaza, thou shouldest never out of this grove passa, that thou ne shouldest dien of min hand. For in the fee the suret and the bond, which that thou sayest that I have man to thee. What, very full, the gwell that love is free, and they will love her malgré all the mecht. But for as much thou art a worthy knecht, and willness to the reign here be betela, have heard me truth then, tomorrow we will not fail, without the witting of any other wicht, that here he will be funden as a knecht, and bringen harness richt enough for thee, and chase the best, and leave the worst for me. And meat and drinketh is nicht wally bringe, enough for thee, and clothes for thee bedinge. And if so be that thou, me laddie, win, and slay me in this wood there I am in, thou mayst well have thee laddie as for me. This Palomon and sword, I grounded thee, and thus they been departed to the morrow, when each of him had laid his faith to borrow. O Cupid, wound of alla charity, O reign that would no fellow have with thee. Full so it is said that love ne lordship, will not his tankes have no fellowship. Well finden that Arcite and Palomon. Arcite is ridden anon into the tune, and on the morrow it were day is late, full privily to harness hath he dicht, both the suffe sound and made to the rain, the battle in the field betwixt them twain. And on his horse alone as he was born, he carried all the harness him beforn. And in the grove at team and place sent, this Arcite and his Palomon been meant. To challenge gan the collier in her fassa, rich as the hunters in the regen of trassa, that stondeth at the gampa with a spear, when hunted is the lion or the bear, and heareth him come rushing in the graves, and breaketh both the bows and the levers, and thinketh, here cometh me mortal enemy. Without the fail, he mote be den or I, for other he mote slain him at the gappa, or he mote slain me if that made me shappa. So ferden they in challenging of her hue, as fair as average of him other knew. There nas no gonde, ne no staluing, but streicht, without in word or her sing, a verge of him help for to arm an author, as friendly as he were his own brother. And after that, with sharp spear strong, the fine-natured other wondered long. Thou michtest ween that this Palomon in his fichting were a woundly on, and as a cruel tingre was Arcite. As will the bars gunna they to sminta, that frothen ween das foam for ihre wood. Up to the ankle fochte they in her blood. And in this wise he laid him fichting dwella, and forth the wall of Theseus you tell. The destiny, Minister General, that executeth in the world over all, the prevails that God hath said before, so strong it is that through the world had sworn, the contrary of a thing be yea or nay. Yet sometime it shall fallen on a day, that falleth not eft within 1,000 year. For certainly our appetite is here, be it of wear or base or hand or love, all is this ruling be the sicht above. This many nu be mighty Theseus, that for to hunten is Odysseus, and namely at the great herd in May, that in his bed there doweth him no day, that hen is clad and ready for to ride, with hunden horn and hundes him beside. For in his hunting hath he swins deleaned, that it is all his joy and appetite, to bend himself the great herdes banner, for after Mars he serveth nu the Anna. Clear was the day, as he have told there this, and Theseus with all a joy and bliss, with his Hippolyta, the fair Equina, and Emilia, clothed all in green, on hunting bay they ridden royally. And to the grove that stood full fast to be, in which there was an herd, as men him tolda, Duke Theseus the straight away hath holda. And to the lawn he readeth him full richt, for thither was the herd and half his fleet, and over a brong, and so forth on his way. The stung will han a course at him or twee, with whom the switch stat him list command. And when the stung was come unto the laund, under the sun he logeth, and anon he was where of Arcite and Palomon, that voogd and brem as it were boores two. The brichte swerdes wenten to and fro, so hiddensly that with the lest strong, it seemed as it walda fell an ung. But what they were, nothing he ne wond. The stung his courser with his spore smooth, and at the stert he was betwixt them two, and pulled on the sword and cried ho, no more of pain of lacing of your head. Be mighty Mars he shall anon be dead, that smeeteth and is strong that he may sing. But telleth me what mister men ye been, that been so hardy for to fichten here, without en judge or other officer, as it were in a listis royally. This Palomon and swerda astally, and saida, Sire, what needeth were the small, we have the death deserved both at woe. To a woeful wretches ben we, to own captives, that ben encumbering of our own lives. And as to our richtful Lord and Judge, ne give us neither mercy ne refuge, but slay me first for sentence charity. But slay me fellow eng as well as me, or slay him first, for thou knowest linta, this is the marto foe, this is Arcite, that throw the land is banished on his hand, for which he hath deserved to be dead. For this is he that come unto the ganta, and said that he hichte philostranta. Thus hath he japped thee full many a year, and thou hast maked him the chief squire, and this is he that loveth Emilia. For sith the day is come that he shall die, I make plainly me confession, that he am the woeful Palomon, that hath the prison broken wickedly. I am the marto foe, and it am I that loveth so hat Emily the brichte, that he will die present in her sichte. Wherefore he axe death and me Juisa, but slay me fellow in the same wise, for both han we deserved to be slain. This were the dung and sweard anon again, and said, this is a short conclusion. Your own mouth be your confession, hath damned you, and you will in record. It needeth not to pin you with the cord. Ye shall be dead, be mighty Mars the red. The queen anon for very woman hand, gan for to wame, and so did Emilia, and all the ladies in the compagnie. Great pity was it, as it took them all, that ever such a Chaucer shall fall, for gentlemen they were of great stand, and nothing but for love was this the band, and saw her bloody wounds weed and sore, and alle cried, both alas and more, have mercy, Lord, upon us women all. And on her bark knees adoon they fall, and all have kissed his feet there as he stood, till at the last a slackened was his mood, for pity renneth soon in gentle herta. And though he first for ear quong and sterta, he hath considered shortly in the clause the trespass of him both, and eng the cause, and although that his ear his guilt accused, yet in his reason he him both excused, as thus He thought the well that every man will help himself in love if that he can, and eg deliver himself out of prison. And eg is here to hand compassion of women for the weapon ever in own. And in his gentle heart he thought anon, and soft unto himself he said, Fie upon a lord that will have no mercy, but ben a lion both in word and deed, to him that ben in repentance and drain, as well as to a prude disputous man, that will maintain that he first began. That lord had little of discretion, that in which cast can no division, but weigheth preen and humbless after own. And shortly, when his ear is thus agone, he gan to loken up with egen lichta, and spang the same words all an hichta. The god of love a benedingete, who michty and who great the lord is he. Against his mich there gaineth none obstacles. He may be clapped the god for his miracles, for he can maken at his own guise, of every turn as that him list devise. Lo here this Arcite and this Palomon, that quickly wern out of me presume, and mich han lived in Thebes Raheli, and witten I am her mortal enemy, and that her death lit in me mich also, and yet hath love malgré her egen tå, bracht hem hither both for to dia. Nu loketh is not that an hich vol ia. Who may ben a fool, but if he love. Behold, for God is sank that sit above, say who they blade, be they not well arrayed. Thus hath her Lord, the God of love, they paid, her wages and her face for her service. And yet they wenen for the ben full wise, that serve in love for aught that may befall. But this is yet the beste gam of all, that she for whom they hand this jollity, can have therefore as much thank as me. She would no more of all this hunt afar, begone than wound a cuckoo or an hare. But all mod ben a said, hunt and cold, a man mod ben a fool, or young or old. I would it be myself full year agone, for in me team a servant was I own. And therefore, sin I knew of love's pain, and won't who sore it can a man distrain, as he that hath been caught oft in his lass, I you for ye will holy this trespass, at request of the queen that kneeleth here, and ink of Emily, Miss Juster there. And ye shall both anon unto me swear, that never more ye shall me country dare, ne make aware upon me nicht ne day, but ben me friendes in all that ye may, you forgive this trespass every day. And they him swore in his axing fair and well, and him of lordship and of mercy prayed, and he him grounded grass, and thus he said, to speak of royal lineage and riches, though that she were a queen or a princess, each of you both is worthy, doon to less, to wed in one team is, but not the less. Is beg as for Miss Juster Emilia, for whom ye have this strife and jealousy. Ye won't yourself she may not wed in twa, atonas, though ye fichten evermore, that one of you, all by him loath or leaf, he won't go peeping in an evil life. This is to say, she may not know han both, albeit ye never so jealous ne so wroth. And for thee you put in this degree, that each of you shall have his destiny, as him is sham and hergneth in what wise. Lo here your end of that is shall devise. Me will is this for plat conclusion, without an any replication. If that you liketh, take it for the best, that everych of you shall go where him lest, freely, without an ransom or danger, and this day 50 weekes, verne near, everych of you shall bring 100 knichtes, armed for listes, but alle richtes, all ready to die in here be battle. And this behold you without an fail, upon me truth, and as I am a knecht, that whether of you both that hath mecht, This is to say that whether he or thou may with his hundred as his bank of nu, slain his contrary or rund of listes driva, then shall he give a million to weave, to whom that fortune giveth so fair a grassa. The listes shall he maken in this plaza, and God so wisely on me soul a rewa, as he shall even a junja ben and trewa. Ye shall none other end with me maken, that one of you ne shall be dead nor taken. And if you thinketh this is well as said, saith your revis and holdeth you a pain. This is your end and your conclusion. Who loketh lichtly noon but Palomon, who springeth for joy but Arcite. Who goeth a tell or who goeth in dinta, the joy that is marked in the plaza, what Theseus hath done so fair a grassa. But do not knees with every manner weight, and thanked him with all her herd and maid, and namely the Thebans often seetha. And thus with gold hump and with herde bletha, they taken her lave and homeward gun they rida, to Thebes with his aldum wallis weeda. I true men wonder demit negligenza, if he forget to tellen the dispensa of Theseus, that goeth so busily to maken up the listes royally, that swinge noble theatre as it was, I dar will sayin in this world there nas. The circle with the mila was a bunda, walled of stone and ditched all with unta. Rund was the sham in manner of compass, full of the grace, the height of 60 pass, that when a man was set on all the grey, he letted not his fellow for to say. Eastward there stod the gant of marble wind, westward reached which another in the opposite. And shortly to conclude, which a plaza was known in earth as in so little space. For in the land there was no crafty man, that geometry or arithmetica can, ne partreur, ne kerver of images, that Theseus ne jaf made and wages, the theatre for to maken and to visa. And for to don his rind and sacrifica, he eastward hath upon the gant above, in worship of Venus, goddess of love, done maken altar and an oratory, and on the gate westward in memory of Mars, he maken hath reached switch another, that cost largely of gold a further. And northward in a turret on the wall, of alabaster wheat and red coral, an oratory rich for to say, in worship of Dian of chastity, a Theseus done wrought in noble visa. But yet had he forgotten to the visa, the noble carving and the portraitures, the sham, the countenance and the figures, that were in these oratories stray. First in the temple of Venus mayst to say, wrought on the wall full pitus to behold, the broken slepus and the sinker skalda, the secretaries and the waymenting, the fiery strokes of the desiringa, that love servants in this life enduren, the oaths of their covenants assuren. Pleasance and hope, desire, full hardinessa, beauty and youth, bauderia, richessa, charmes and farce, laziness, flatteria, dispensa, busyness and jalousia, that wearied of yellow golds a girland, and the Congo sitting on her hand. Festes, instruments, caroles, dances, lust and array, and all of the circumstances of love, which that he reckoned and reckon shall, be order wearing painted on the wall, and more than he can mark of mention. For sotly of the moon of Saturn, their Venus had her principal dwelling, was shewed on the wall in portraying, with all the garden and the lustiness. That was forgotten the parter idlenessa, ne Narcissus the fair of yore agone, ne yet the folly of King Solomon, nay yet the greatest strength of Hercules, the enchantments of Medea and Circes, nay of Turnus, with the hardy fierce Coranja, the rich Croesus, caitiff in Servanja. Thus may ye say that wisdom ne richessa, beauté ne slechte, strength ne hardinessa, ne may with Venus holda and chambertia, for as her list the world van me shakia. Lo alle these volk so kaucht were in her las, till they for woe full of the saint, alas. So feeseth here in samples onder two, and though he could reckon 1,000 more. The statue of Venus, glorious were to say, was naked, floating in the larger sea, and fro the navel adoon all covered was, with wowes green, and bricht as on a glass. A sittle in her right hand had she, and on her head, full seemly for to say, a rose girland fresh and well smelling, above her head her doves flickering. Before her stone her son Cupido, upon his shoulders wings had he two, and blind he was, as it is often seen, above he bar an arrows bricht and cane. We shall die nacht as well, ik tell you all, the portraiture that was upon the wall, within the temple of Mighty Mars the Renda. All painted was the wall in length and breadth, like to the estrus of the grisly plaza, that hichte the great temple of Mars in Trassa, el fylke cold frosty region, there as Mars had his sovereign mansion. First on the wall was painted a forest, in which there dwelleth neither man ne beast, with knotty knarry barren trees old, of stubbe sharp and hiddusam to behold, in which there ran a rumble in a swoog, as though a storm should breast in every boog. And downward from an hill under a benta, there stood the temple of Mars omnipotenta, whereof all of burned steel, of which the entree was long and strained and ghastly for to see. And thereon came a range and switch of vesa, that did mad all the ganta for to raise. The northern licht in at the door is shown, for window on the wall ne was there known, durch which men michten an the licht discern. The door was all of adamant eterne, it clenched over thwart and end long, with iron toog, and for to make it strong, every pillar the temple does sustain, was to the grind of iron, bricht and sheen. There zag je first the derk imagining of felonia and all the compassing, the cruel era red as an gleda, the pink purse and ink the pale dreda, the smealer with the knife under the cloak, the shame the brenning with the blanke smoke, the treason of the murdering in the bed, the open wear with wounds all be bled, contact with bloody knife and sharp menace. All full of jerking was that sorry plaza. The slayer of himself yet saw he there, his hair the blown had bathed all his hair, the nail driven in the schoen the nicht, the calm death with mouth gaping upricht. Amidst of the temple sat Miss Chaucer, with discomfort and sorry countenance. Yet saw he woedness laughing in his ranja, or mid complaint, oaths and fierce outranja, the carrion in the busk with road de carva, 1,000 slain and not of qual mistarva. The tyrant with the prey before she raft, the tune destroyed, there was nothing left. Yet saw he brent the ships up stairs, the hunter strangled with the wilde bears, the Sue freten the child richt in the cradle, the coog is scalded for all his long ladle. Nacht was vergeten by the infortune of Martha, the carter overreden with his carta, under the whale for low he lay down. There were also of Martha's division, the barber and the butcher and the smith, that forged sharp swords on his stave. And all above the painted in a tour, zag I conquest sitting in great honor, with the sharp sword over his hand, hanging by a soundel tween a strand. The painted was the slaughter of Julius, of great Nero, and of Antonius. Albeit that tilke time they were unborn, it was her death the painted there before. Be manna sing of Mars, richt be figure. So was it shewed in that portraiture, as is depicted in the stars above, who shall be slain or else dead for love. Så finns ett ensample en stories alda, I men att reckon him alla, though he walda. The statue of Mars upon a carta stood, armed and looked grim as he were old. And over his head there shinen two figures of stars that been claped in scriptures. That one Puella, that other Rubius, this god of arms was arrayed thus. A wolf there stood before him at his feet, with ein rein, and of a man he aimed. With soundel pencil was depicted the story, in reduting of Mars and of his glory. Nu to the temple of Diana the Chasta, as shortly as he can, he will me hasta, to tell you of the description. Depicted been the walls up and down, of hunting and of shamafast chastity. There saw he who were full Callistope, when that Diana graved was with hair, was turned from a woman till a bear, and after was she mad the load stair. Thus was it painted, I can say you no fairer. Her son's enga stair as men may say. There saw he dan, I turned till a tree. I mean not the goddess and Diana, but Peneus' daughter, which that hichte Dana. There saw he Athens and heard the maked, for vengeance that he saw the all naked. I saw who that his hundes have him caught, and frightened him, for that they knew him naught. Yet painted was a little furthermore, who at the land hunted the wilde boar, and many younger and many another more, for which Diana wrought him gar and woe. There saw he many another wonder story, the which may list not drawn to memoria. This goddess on an herd full he is saint, with smalle hundes alle bund her feint, and underneath her fein she had a moon, waxing it was and shoulder one ye sun. In gaude grain her statue clothed was, with bow in hand and arrows in a cas. Her ein kastet sig full uadun, der Pluto had his derka region. A woman travelling was here before, but for her child so long was unborn. For Petusli, Lucina, Ganjikala, and Seda, helm for the mist best of all. Well could he paint and leafly that it wroughta, with many a florin he the hue is bochta. Nu bent these lestes man and Theseus, that at his great cost arrayed thus, the templars and the theatre every dale, when it was done, him leaked wonder well. But stint he wall of Theseus alinta, and spake of Palomon and of Arcite. The day approacheth of a returninga, that every shall and 100 knightes bringa, the battle to the reina, as he you tolda. And till Athens her covenant for to holda, at average of him bracht and 100 knightes, well armed for the wear at alle richtes. And sickerly there trued many a man, that never, sithen that the world began, as for to speak of knichthood of her hand, as fair as God have maked sea or land, not so few, so nobla compagnia. For every wicht that loved chivalry, and wall his thanks han a passant nam, have prayed that he michte been of that gam, and well was him that thereto chosen was, for if there filled marwas which a cas, ye knew and well that every lusty knecht, that loved paramours and had his mecht, were it in England or elsewhere, they all her thanks willing to be there, to fichte for a laddie benedicite. It were a lustig sichta for to se. And reached so ferden they with Palomon, With him there went en knechtes manne oon, som al ben armed in en herbet June, and in en breastplant and en licht Japoon. And some will have a pyre plantas larga, and some will have a pryseshield or a tarja. Some will be armed on his legs well, and have an axe and some a mass of steel. There is no newer geezer that did not old. Armed were they, as he have you told, there is after his opinion. There must to sin, commingo with Palomon, Ligurge himself, the great king of Trassa. Black was his beard, and manly was his face. The circles of his ain in his hand, they glowed in betwixt en yellow and red, and like a griffon loked he abunda, with kempe hairs on his brow stunda. His lim is greta, his brown is hard and stronger, his shoulders broad, his arms round and longer. And as the geezer was in his country, full he upon a jar of gold stood he, with four wheat bolus in the trays. Instead of coat armure over his harness, with nails yellow and bricht as any gold, he had a bare skin, god blank for old. His long hair was kemmed behind his back, as any ravenous feather it shone for blank. Our wreath of gold, arm grained of ylge wichter. Upon his head set full of stones brichter, of fine rubies and of diamonds. About his char there went in wheat allowance, 20 and more, as grand as any stair, to hunten at the leon or the deer, and followed him with morsel faste bunda, coloured of gold and turretes filled runda. 100 lordes had he in his runta, armed full well with hertes stern and stunda. With Arcite in stories as men finda, the great Demetrius, the king of Inda, upon a stene bane traped in steel, covered in cloth of gold, the apparent well, come reading alike the god of arms, Mars. His coat armure was of cloth of tars, couched with pearls wheat and rund and greta. His saddle was of bren gold new I benta. A mantelet upon his shoulder hanging, brett full of rubies, red as fire sparkling. His crisp hair like rings was I runna, and that was yellow and glittered as the sun. His nose was high, his ein bricht citrin, his lips round, his colour was sanguine. A few frackness in his face is sprain, betwixt in yellow and sundel black I mane. And as a lion he his looking casta. Of 25 year his ange casta. His beard was well begun for to springa, his voice was as a trump thundering. Upon his head he weared of laurer green, a girland fresh and lusty for to sing. Upon his hand he bar for his dead wind, an eagle tam as any lily wind. 100 lordes had he with him there, all armed, saver heades, in all her gear, full richly in all manner things. For trusteth well that dunkes, earles kinges, were gathered in this noble compagnie, for love and for increase of chivalry. About this king there ran on every part, full many a tame lion and leopard. And in this wise these lordes all in summa, ben on the Sunday to the Sinte cumma, about the prim and in the tun a licht. This Theseus, this dunk, this worthy knecht, when he had brought him into his city, and ended him a verge at his degree, he feasted him, and doing so great labour, to eisen him and done him all honour, that yet men waiting that no man is wind, of no stad ne kunda menden end. The minstrels see the service at the festa, the great giftes to the mest and lesta, the rich array of Theseus' palace, ne hos at vers ne last upon the days, what lady is fairest ben or best dancing, or which of him can dance best and sing, ne who most failingly speaketh of love, what hawk is sitting on the perch above, what hund is leeching on the floor adun, Of all this magi nu no mention, but all defend that thinketh me the best. Nu cometh the point, and hearkeneth if you list. The Sunday nicht day began to springa, when Palomon the larka herde singa. Although it not day the ures two, yet sung the larka, and Palomon richt though, with holy herd and with an heich coranja. He rose to wenden on his pilgrimage, und all the blissful cittere benigna, I man of Venus on your ramland dinja. And in her he walketh for the pass, und to the listes there her temple was, and doon he kneleth, and with humble cheer, and her the sar he said as ye shall hear. Fairest of fair, o lady min Venus, dochter to Jove and spouse of Vulcanus, thou gladder of the moon of Citron, for thilke love thou hadst to adorn. Have pity of me bitter terre smerta, and tag min humble prayer at din herta. Alas, I have no langans to tell, the vengtes ne the torments of min hell. Min herte me min harmes not bevrea, I am so confused that I can not say, but mercy, lady bricht, that knowest well, me thucht and sayest what harmest that I fail. Consider all this and rue upon me sorrow, as wisely as I shall for evermore. Forth me mecht, the true servant be, and holden wear alway with chastity. That maki min avu, so ye may help. I keep a nacht of armes for to help. Ne axe not tomorrow to have victoria, ne renun in the skies, ne vain ne gloria, of priest of armes blue and and doon. But he will have a fully possession of family and die in the service. Find through the manner who and in what ways, I wretched not but it may better be, to have a victory of him or they of me, so that I have me laddie in min armas. For though so be that Mars is god of armas, your virtue is so great in heaven above, that if you list, I shall well have me love. The temple while you worship evermore, and on thin altar, where I read or go, I will don sacrifice and fear is bent. And if you will not so, me land is wenta, then pray I thee, tomorrow with a spare, that Arcite may thirch the herde bear. Then reck I not, when I have lost me leave, though that Arcite win here to his weave. This is the effect and end of me prayer, if may me love through blissful laddie dare. When the orison was done of Palomon, his sacrifice he did and that anon, full piteously with all circumstances, all telling not as knew his observances. But at the last the statue of Venus shone, and mad the senior whereby that he tongue, that his prayer accepted was that day. For though the senior shewed that the lay, yet wist he well that granted was his bone, and with glad heart he went him home full soon. The three were in a quarrel with Palomon, began to Venus temple for to go. Uprose the sun and umbrose Emilia, and to the temple of Diana gan he. Her maidens that she thither with her landa, full readily with him the fear they handa. Then sent the clothes and the remnant all, that to the sacrifice along and shall, the harness full of maith as was the geese, there lacked not to don her sacrifice. Smoking the temple full of clothes fair, this Emilia with herte debonair, her body wash with water of a well. But who she did her read I dare not tell, but it be anything in general, and yet it were a gamma to hear in all. To him that meaneth well it were no charge, but it is good a man ben at his large. Her brichte hair was kemd und dressed all, a corun of a grain nog cereal, upon her head was sent full fair and menta. To fears on the altar gan she benta, and did her things as men may behold, in stas of Thebes and Theseus alda. When kindled was the fear with Pindus cheer, and told Diana she spake as ye may hear. O chaste goddess of the waters green, to whom both heaven and earth and sea is seen, queen of the reign of Pluto der can lure, goddess of maidens that min herte hast knue, full many a year, and wost what he desire, as came me fro the vengeance and thin ear, that Athiona buchte cruelly. Chaste goddess, well was du that desire to ben a maiden all me lief, ne never wally be no love ne weave. Am thu wast yet of the compagnia, a maid and love hunting and venereer, and for to walken in the world as wilda, and not to ben a weave and be with childa. Not wally knu a company of man. Nu help me, laddie, sit ye may and can, for those reformers that du hast in thee. And Palomon that hath such love to me, and Arcite that loveth me so sore, this grassy pray thee with more, as send the love and peace betwixt them two, and from me turn away her herte so, that all her hot love and her desire, and all her busy torment and her fear, be quaint or turned in another place. And if so be thou wilt not do me grassa, or if me destiny be sharpened so, that ye shall needs have one of him too, as send me him that most desireth me. Behold, goddess of clean chastity, the bitter tears that on me cheeks fall. Since thou art maid and keeper of us all, me maiden head to keep and well conserve, and wheelie live a maid I will they serve. The fierce brenn upon the altar clear, while Emily was thus in her prayer. But suddenly she saw gezicht quenta, verrichte nun on of the fierce quenta, and quicked again, and after that anon, that other fear was quent and all gone. And as it quaint it mad a whistlinga, as done this wet the bronze in her brenninga, and at the bronze end ut ran anon, as it were a bloody drops money on, for which so sore aghast was Emilia, that she was well nigh mad and gone to cry, for she ne wiste what it signified, but only for the fear thus hath she cried, and waved that it was pity for to hear. And therewithal Diana gan appear, with bow in hand, richt as an hunteressa, and said, Doctor, stint in heavinessa. Among the gods he did affirmed, and be eterne word written and confirmed, thou shalt ben wedded unto one of thou, that han for thee so mutual care and woe, but unto which of him me may not tell. Farewell, for in him may no longer dwell. The fears which that on min altar brenna, shall they declaren, that thou go henna, thin aventure of love was in the skies. And with that word the was in the case of the goddess clattering fast and ringa, and forth she went and mad of vanishing. For which this Emily a stone it was, and said, What amounted this, alas? I put me in the protection, Dian, and in the disposition. And home she goeth anon the next way. This is the event, there is no more to say. The next hour of Mars following at this, Arcite unto the temple walked is, of fierce Mars to done his sacrifice, with all the rites of his pagan ways. With Pittus herd and heich devotion, richtet to Mars he said his orison. O strong God, that in the readness called, of tras og nuridard and lordi holda, and hast in every regn and every land, of arms of the bridle in thin hand, and hem fortunes as the list visa, accept of me Pittus sacrifice. If so be that me youth may deserve, and that me mich be worthy for to serve, the Godhead that he may be one of thine, then pray thee to rue upon me pin. For tilke pain and tilke hond of fear, in which thou whilom brendest for desire, when that thou usedest the beauty of faire young, fresh Venus frey, and hadest here in armes at thy will, although the onus on the team misfill, when Vulcanus had caught thee in his lass, and found thee leeching be his wife, alas. For tilke sorrow that was in thine herte, have ruth as well upon me painless smerte. I am young and unkunning as thou wast, and as I true with love offended most, that ever was any lives creature, for she that doth me all this woe endure, ne wretched never where I sink or flete. And well I wot, she me mercy henta, I mote with strength win here in the plaza, and well I wot, with unten help or grassa, of thene me strength noch da vela. Then help me, Lord, tomorrow in me battle, for tilke fear that whilom brendeth thee, as well as tilke fear nu brendeth me, and though that I tomorrow have victoria. Min bede travail, and thin bede gloria. The sovereign temple wal I most honoren, of any place and always most laboren, in the pleasance and in the craft stronger, and in the temple wal me banner hanga, and all the arms of me compagnia, and evermore unto that day idea, eterne fear I wal before they finda, and eg to this woo I wal me binda, me beard, min hair that hangeth long adoon, that never yet ne filmed offensioen, of razor nor of share I wal they give, and bent the true servant will I live. Nu Lord, have ruth upon me sorrow sore, if me victory, I ask thee na more. The prayer stint of Arcite the strong, the ring is on the temple door that hung, and eke the doors clattered in full fasta, of which Arcite somewhat him agasta. The fear is brenden upon the outer brichte, that it can all the temple for to lichte. A sweet smell the grund anon up jav, and Arcite anon his hand up half, and more incense into the fear he casta, with other ritas more, and at the last the statue of Mars began his hauberk ring, and with that soon he heard a murmuring, full low and dim, and said thus Victoria, for which he have to Mars honour and gloria. And thus with joy and hope will to fare, Arcite anon unto his inn is fare, as fain as fool is of the brichte sun. And richte nuns which strife there is begun, for tilke grounding in the heaven above, betwixt Venus the goddess of love, and Mars the sterne god omnipotent, that Jupiter was busy it to stand, till that the pale Saturnus the cold, that knew so many of aventures old, found in his old experience and art, that he full soon hath pleasant every part. As so 'tis said, eld hath great avantage, in eld is both the wisdom and usage, men made all at ren and not at reda. Saturn anon to stinten strife and dreda, albeit that it is again his kinda, of all the strife he gan remedie finda. Min deare dochter Venus, quod Saturna, mi course that hath so wieder for to turna, hath more poor than what any man. Min is the drenching in the sea so one, min is the prison in the derke kolta, min is the strangling and hanging by the thronta, the murmur and the careless rebelling, the groaning and the prevails poisoning, do vengeance and plain correction, will indwell in the sign of the leun. Min is the ruin of the hia halls, the falling of the tours and of the walls, upon the minor or the carpenter. I slew Samson, king of the Pelair, and many by the maladies called, the derge treasons and the castus old. Miloking is the father of pestilenza. Nu weep no more, I shall don diligenza, that Palomon, that is din une knecht, shall have his laddie, as thou hast him hecht. Though Mars shall help his knecht, yet natheless betwixt the youth remote besund in pace, albeit ye not of all complexion, that causeth all the swinch division. I am thin ale, ready at the will, weep no namora, I will the lust fulfill. Nu all is stinten of the goddess above, of Mars and of Venus, goddess of love, and tell you as plainly as he can the great effect for which that he began. Great was the feast in Athens that day, and eke the lusty season of that May, made every wished to bed in sweet pleasance, that all that Monday justen they and dance, and spending it in Venus heich service. But be the cause that they shall rise, early for to send the great feast, and to her rest wenten they at night. And on the morrow, when that day gan springa, of horse and harness, noise and clatteringa, there was an hostelries alla bunda, and to the palace rode there many runda, of lordes upon status and palfreys. There mest to send the vising of harness, so uncouth and so rich and wrought so well, of goldsmithery, of brooding and of steel, verschildes brichten, testeres and trapures, godhewen helmes, hauberges, kondarmures, lordes and paraments and her corseras, knichtes of retinue, and eggs quieras, nelinga the speres and helmes bokelinga, giging of shieldes with leneres lasinga. The rasnedes they were nothing idle. The foamy status on the golden bridle, gnawing and faste armurers also, with feel and hammer pricking to and fro. Yen men on vånd and communas manni own, with sharpe staves thick as they may gone. Pipes, trompes, nackers, clariunas, that in the battle blew and bloody sunas. The palace full of people, and doon. Her 3, her 10, holding her question. The vining of these Theban knichtas två. Some said and thus, some said it shall be so. Some held in with him with the blanka beard, some with the ballad, some with the thicker haired. Some said he looked grim and he would fichta. He had a spart of 20 pund of wichta. Thus was the hall full of divininga, long after that the sun gan to springa. The great Theseus that of his slave bewaked, with minstrelsy and noise that was making, held yet the chamber of his palace richa, till that the Theban knichtas both I lyncha, on Urid, whereinto the palace went. Duke Theseus was at the window sent, arrayed richt as he were a god in throne. The people pressed thitherward full sona, him for to sein and don heich reverenza, and eke to hergn his hest and his sentenza. And herod on a scaffold mad and oh, till all the noise of people was the door, and when he saw the people of noise all still, so shewed he the mighty dungas will. The Lord hath of his heich discretion considered that it were destruction, to gentle blood to fichten in the Giza, of mortal battle nu in this impresa. Wherefore to sharpen that he shall not dear, he all his first purpose mod of fear. No man therefore up pain of loss of leave, no man er shot ne pollux ne short kniv, into the list send or thither bringa. Ne short sword for to stung with point betinga, no man ne drawa ne buried be his sida. Ne no man shall unto his fellow rida, but okers with a sharp grunda spera, for if him list on fold himself to wear. And he that is at mischief shall be takka, and not slain but be brought unto the stakka, that shall be ordained on either sida. But thither he shall be force and verrapida. And if so falleth the chieftain betanka, on other seen or else slain his makka, no longer shall the tourney inga lasta. God spade you, youth forth and lay on fasta, with longs were done with massa fichteth your filla. Youth nur your way, this is the Lord's will. The voice of people touched the heaven, so Luna cried they with Muri steven. God savus which a Lord that is so good, he willeth no destruction of blood. Uppgån the trumpets and the melodia, and all the listes rytt the compagnia. Be ordinance, the tune the city larger, hanged with cloth of gold and not with sarge. For linga Lord this noble dunk can rida, these two Thebans upon either side. And after rode the Queen and Emilia, and after that another compagnia, of one and other after here the grey. And thus they passen ut the city, and to the listes cometh they betima. It nas not of the day it fully prima, once it was Theseus full rich and here, Hippolyta the Queen and Emilia, and other ladies in the grace abunda. Unto the setes presseth all runta. And westward thricht the Gantus under Marta, Arcite and 800 of his parta, with banner red is intrigue richten on, and in that selve moment Palomon is under Venus eastward in the plaza, with banner wheat and hardy chair and fassa. In all the world to second up on the dune, so evna withouten variation, there ne'er switch company is twea, for there was none so wise that could say, that any had of other avantage, of worthiness, ne of stand, ne anja, so evna were they chosen for to guess, and in Torrenges fair they him dressa. When at her names rad were every chun, that in her number gila were there none, though where the gante schend and Creon was luda. Du nu your devor, junge knichtes pruda. The herald is left here pricking up on the dune, nu ringen trumpets lund and clarion. There is no more to say, but west and east, in gone despair is full sadly in arrest, in guth the sharpe spore into the cedar. Der sen men Håkan just and Håkan rida, der shiveren shaftus upon shieldes thicka, he faileth thricht the hertespon the pricka. Uppspringen speres 20 on hichta, utgån the swerdes as the silver brichta, the helms they to hewen and to srenda, utpress the blood with sterna stremes renda, with michty masses the bonus they to bresta, he thricht the thickest of the throng and thresta. Der stunden sted is strong, and doen geht all. He rawleth underfund as doth the ball. He foineth on his feet with his truncheon, and he him hurdleth with his horse adoon. He thricht the body is hurt and sit in a tanka, mount grey his head and brocht unto the stanka. As forward was, richt there he must bida. Another lad is on that other sida. And some team doth him Theseus to resta, him to refresh and drinken if him lesta. Full of the day han Theseus Theban as twa, to gedry mend and rocked his fellow woe, and horsed hat each other of him twea. There nas no tigre in the val of Golgotha, when that her well bestole when it is linda, so cruel on the hunt as is Arcite, for jealous herd upon this Palomon. Ne inbel mari there nis so fellu on, that hunted is or for his hunger wood, ne of his prey desireth so the blood, as Palomon to slain his foe Arcite. The jealous strokes on her helmes binta, ut renneth blood on both her sidas renda. Some team and end there is of every denda, for the sun unto the rest wenta, the stronger king Demetrius gan henta, this Palomon as he fought with Arcite, and man his sword deep in his flesh to binta, and with the force of 20 is he tanka, on Yolden and the drawen to the stanka. And in the rescues of this Palomon, the stronger king Lycurgus is born adun, and King Demetrius, for all his strength, is born out of his saddle a swerdes length, so hit him Palomon he were tatta. But all for nacht he was brought to the stanka. His hardy herten micht him helpen nacht, he must bide when that he was kaucht, before sin egg becomposition. Hussar with nu but woeful Palomon, that mote na more gon again to fichta. And when that Theseus had seen the sichter, and told the folk that wachten for Sir John, he cried, ho, no more, for it is done. It will be true judge and no partia. Arcite of Thebes shall have Emilia, that by his fortune hath her fairy won. Anon there is a noise of people begun, for joy of this so loud and hech withal, it seemeth that the listes shall the fall. What can no fair Venus done above? What saith she now, what doeth this queen of love? But weepeth so, for wanting of her will, till that her terrace in the listes fill. She said, I am a shaman done to les. Saturnus said, dochter, hold thee pace. Maar Satis will, his knecht had all his bone, and by min hand thou shalt ben eased son. The trumpers with the luda minstrelsia, the heralds that for luda yell and cry, ben in her wail for joy of down Arcite. But herkneth me and stinteth noise alinta, which a miracle there befell anon. This verse Arcite had off his helm I done, and on a courser for to shew his vassa, he pricketh endelong the larger plaza, looking upward upon this Emilia. And she again him cast a friendlish ear, for women as to speaking in communa, they followen all the favor of Fortuna, and was all his cheer as in his herta. Ut of the grund of year inferna sterta, from Pluto send at request of Saturna, for which his horse for fair gan to turna, and lem basid and fundrid as he lem. And ere the Darcida mid Aken came, he picked him on the pommel of his hand, that in the place he lay as he were dead, his breast to brosten with his saddle bow. As black he lay as a Nicol or crew, so was the blood he running in his vassa. Anon he was born out of the plaza, with herte sore to Theseus' palace. So was he carven out of his harness, and in a bed he brocht full fair and bleva, for he was yet in memoria and alive, and always crying after Emilia. Duke Theseus, with all his compagnia, is coming home to Athens his city, with all the bliss and great solemnity. Albeit that his adventure was fall, he null the nacht discomforted him all. Men sedig that Arcite shall not die, he shall be healed of his malady. And of another thing they were as fain, that of them all was there none is slain, all were they sorely hurt, and namely own, that with a spear was stirred his breastbone. To other wounds and to broken arms, some hadden salves and some hadden charms. Vermassios of herbes and exava, they drunken, for they wound her limes have. For which this noble dunk, as he will can, comforteth and honoureth every man, and made a revel of a longe night, unto the strange lordes as was recht. Net there was holden no discomfitinga, but as a justice or a tourneyinga, for sotly there was no discomfitura. For falling is not bunt and aventura, net to be lad befors unto the stanka, unjolden and with 20 knechtes tanka, o person alone without mo, and harried forth be arma fund and do, and eng his stede driven forth with stavas, with footmen, both a yeoman and a knavas, it nazaretted him no villania, there made no man kleben it coartia. For which anon Duke Theseus let cria, to stinten all rancor and envia. The grey as well of osin as of other, and ether sin the ling as other's brother. And jaf him giftes after her the grey, and fully held a festa de estray, and conveyed the king's worthily, und of his tune a journey largely. And home went every man the richt away. There was no more but farewell, have a good day. Of this battle he was no more indinta, but spake of Palomon and of Arcite. Swelleth the breast of Arcite and the sore, and cresceth at his heart more and more. The clothered blood for any liche craft, corrupteth, and is in his boon gelaved, that neither venablod, ne vento singa, ne drink of herbes meben his helpinga. The virtue expulsive or animal, fro thilke virtue clepit natural, ne me the venom voided ne expel. The peepes of his lungs gun to swell, and every lacert in his breast adoon is shent with venom and corruption. Him gaineth neither for to gain his leave, vomit upward ne doonward laxative. Alles te brosten thilke region, natuur hath nu no domination. At certainly der natuur was not wircha, for the welfezing go bear the man to chircha. This all in sum that Arcite moet dea, for which he sendeth after Emilia, and Palomon that was his cousin there. Then said he thus, as he shall after hear, Nacht me the wolf spirit in min herta, declare a point of all my sorrow smerta, to you, my laddie, that I love the most, but I bequeath the service of my ghost, to you above every creature, sin that me life may no longer dure. Alas the woe, alas the pain is stronger, that I for you have suffered not so long. Alas the death, alas min Emilia, alas the parting of our compagnia. Alas min hertes quena, alas mi wife, min hertes laddie, ender of my life. What is this world, what asketh men to have? Nu with his love, nu in his kalda grava, alone, without any compagnia. Farewell, mi swete foe, min Emilia, and soft attack me in your armes twee, for love of God, and hearkeneth what I say. I have here with me cousin Palomon, had strife and rancor many a day agone, for love of you and for me jealousy. And Jupiter so wise me so legia, to speaking of a servant properly, with all circumstances truly. That is to say, in truth, honor, knecht heda. Wisdom, humblesse stand and hech kin vreda. Freedom, and all that longeth to that art, so Jupiter hath of me soul apart. As in this world richt nu nek nu in known, so worthy to ben loven as Palomon, that serveth you, and well done all his leave. And if it ever ye shall ben now Eve, forget not Palomon, the gentleman. And with that word his bench fail again, for from his fate up to his breast was come the cold of death that had him overcome. And yet moreover, for in his arms twa, the vital strength is lost and all ago. Only the intellect without more, that dwelled in his herte sink and sore, can fail when the herte fell to death. Dus sked his eye and twa, and failed breath, but on his laddie yet cast he his ear. His last word was mercy, Emilia. His spirit changed whose and went there, as he come never, he cannot tell and where. Therefore he stemt in namn no divinistra, of souls find he not in this registra. They may in his thilke opinions to tell, of him though that they written where they dwell. Our sin is called, their Mars is soul legia, nu only speaking forth of Emilia. Schricht Emily and huleth Palomon, and Theseus his sister took anon, swooning and bar her fro the corpse away. What helpeth it to tarry forth the day, to tellen who she wame both Eve and Marwa? For in swinge women have a sweet sorrow, when that her husband is been from him ago, that for the more apart they sorrowen so, or else fallen in such malady, that at the last certainly they die. Infinite being the sorrows and the tears of all the folk and folk of tender years, in all the tune for death of the Stepan. For him there weepeth both a child and man, so great weeping was there none certain, when there was a bracht all fresh is slain to Troy. Alas, the pity that was there, cratching of cheeks, renting ache of hair. We woldest to be dead, these women Creon, and had a scald in Nuch and Emilia. No man mächte gladden Theseus, saving his older father, Aegeus, that knew this world is transmit as soon, as he had seen it change both and doon, joy after woe after gladness, and shewed him ensamples and likeness. Richt as there did never a man quod he, that he lived in earth in some degree. Richt so there lived never man, he said, in all this world that sometime he ne did. This world is but a thirchfare full of woe, and weben pilgrims passing to and fro. Death is an end of every worldly sore, and over of this yet said him much more, to this effect full easily to enarta, the people that they should him reconforta. Duke Theseus with all his busy cure, cast nu where that the sepultura of Gunnar sint me best market be, and eg most on you rambling his degree. And at the last he took conclusion, that there as fierce Arcite and Palomon had never loved the battle him between, that in that silver grove swooned and grin, there as he had his amorous desires, his complaint and for love his hold the fears, he well the make a fear in which thou fisa, funeral he mich all accomplissa. And laid command anon to hack and hew, the unkes old and lay him on a rew, in kolpans will a rain var to brenna. His officers with swift to faint they ren, and read anon at his commandment. And after this Theseus had descend, after a bear and little overspread, with cloth of gold, the richest that they had. And of the summer sweet he clad Arcite, upon his hands had a glove as quinta, on his head a corn of laurer grena, and in his hand a sword full bricht and gain. He laid him bare the visage on the bear, therewith he ween that pity was to hear. And for the people should send him all, when it was day he brought him to the hall, that roareth of the Creon and the sun. Though come this woeful Theban Palomon, with floatery beard and ruggy ashy hairs, in clothes blank he dropped all with tears, and passing otter of weeping Emilia, the ruefulest of all the company. In as much as the service shall be, the more noble and rich in his degree, Duke Theseus led forth 3 staid spring, that trapped were in steel all glittering, and covered with the arms of down Arcite. Upon these staides that were ingrained and wheeled, there sat in folk of which one bar his shield, another his spear upon his hand is held. The thread bar with him his bow at their gaze, of Bryn-God was the cass and eke the harness. And reading for the pass with sorrowful cheer, toward the grove as ye shall after hear. The noblest of the Greeks that there were, upon her shoulders carried in the bear, with slanke pass and eien red and went, through out the city by the meester strength, that spread was all with blank and wonder here, richt of the summer is the strand i bria. Upon the richt-hand went old Aegeus, and on that other side Duke Theseus, with vessels in her hand of gold full fine, all full of honey, milk and blood and wine, eke Palomon with full great cumbig near. And after that come woeful Emilia, with fear in hand as was that team the Giza, to do their feast of funeral service. Hich labor and full grenda parilinga, was at the service and the firma kinga, that with his grain atop the heaven rauchta, and 20 fathom of bread the armes strauchta. This is to say, the boes weren so bronda, of strafers there was lain full many loda. But who the fear was maked upon hichta, they eke the names that the trees hichta, as ung, fyra, birch, asp, alder, holm, poplar, willuch elm, plan ash, box chastin, lind laurer, mapul, thorn bench, hassel, ew whipple tree. Who they were in veld shall not be told for me. The who the goddess runnen up on the doon, deserted of their habitation, in which they wandered in rest and peace, Nymphus, Faunus, and the Mandrides, ne who the bestes and the brides alla, fled in for fear when the wound was fallen, ne who the groen the gast was of the licht, that was not wont to see the sun bricht. Ne who the fear was couched fierce with stray, and thana with 3 stickes cloven a tree, and thana with grain of wound and spiceria, and thana with cloth of gold and with peria, and guirlands hanging with full money of floor, the mere the incense with all so great odor, ne who are seen to lay among all this, ne what riches abound his body is, ne who that Emily, as was the Giza, put in the fear of funeral service, ne who she swooned when men matter the fear, ne what she spank, ne what was here desire, ne what jewels men in the fear casta, when that the fear was great and brent fasta. Ne who some cast her sheld, and some her spare, and other vestments which that they wear, and cups full of wine and milk and blood, into the fear that brent as it were wood. Ne who the Greeks with an unge runta, 3 is reading of the fear abunta, upon the left hand with the loon shooting, and 3 is with her spears glattering, and 3 is who the laddies gun crea, and who that lad was homeward Emilia, ne who are seen is brent to ashen cold, ne who that Lichuanka was a holder, all filke nicht, ne who the Greekes play, the wanka plays, ne came be not to say, who rustleth best naked with oil anoint, the who that bar him best in no disjoint. I wanna tell an ing who that they gone, home till Athens when the play is done, but shortly to the point than while you wenda, and maken of me longe tal than enda. Be process and be length of certain years, all stinted is the morning and the tears of Greekes beyond general assent. Then a same it made there was a parliament at Athens upon certain points and cause, among the which a point is spoken was, to have certain countries alliance, and have fully of Thebans obeisance. For which this noble Theseus anon, let send and after gentle Palomon, unwist of him what was the cause and why, but in his black clothes sorrowfully, he came at his commandment in here. Though send Theseus for Emilia, when they were sent, and hust was on the plaza, and Theseus obedient had a spassa, ere any word come from his wheeze breast, his ain set it there as was his list. And with a sad visage he seeked still, and after that richt thus he said his will. The first mover of the cows above, when he first made the fair chain of love, great was the fact, and he was his intent. Well wist he and what thereof he meant, for with that fair chain of love he bond, the fear, the air, the water, and the land, in certain bundes that they may not flee. That some prince and that me were, God he, hath established in this wretched world adun, certain days and duration, to all that is engendered in this plaza, of earth the which day they may not pass, all move they it through days well abrenja. There needeth noch no noctorde the lenja, for it is proven by experienza, but that may list declare me sentenza. Then may men be this order will discern, that tilgum juver establis and eterna. Well may men knu, but it be a fool, that every part deriveth from his whole, for nature hath not taken his beginning, of no party or cantle of a thing, but of a thing that perfect is and stable, descending so till it be corrumptible. And therefore of his wise prevails, he hath so well besent his ordinance, that spaces of things and progressions shall endure and be successions, and not eterne withouten annihilere. This mayst du understand and say not ear. Lo the old that hath so long a nourishing, from time that it first beginneth to spring, and hath so long a life as we may say, yet at the last was in this the tray. Considereth eng hoe dat de harde stone, under oere feind on which we tread and gone, yet was it as it lift be the way. The broad river sometime waxeth dry, the great tune say we won and wend, then may ye say that all this thing hath end. Of man and woman same we well also, that need us in one of these termes two. This is to say, in youth or else anja, he mote be dead, the king as shall panja. Some in his bed, some in the deep sea, some in the large veld, as men may say. There helpeth not all good that ilk away, then may I say that all this thing mote day. What maketh this but Jupiter the king, that is prince and cause of all a thing, converting all unto his proper will, from which it is driven sooth to tell. And here against no creature on leave, of no degree availeth for to strive. Then is it wisdom, as it thinketh me, to make in virtue of necessity, and take it well that we may not eschew, and namely that to us all is due. And whoso greeteth ucht he doth polia, and rebel is to him that all make ear. And certainly a man hath most honour, to deal in his excellence and floor, when he is sicker of his good name, then hath he done his friend ne him no sham. And gladder oft his friend been of his death, when with honour up yolden is his breath, that when his name appalled is for anja, for all forgetting is his vassal anja. Then is it best as for a worthy fam, to deal when that he is best of nam. The contrary of all this is wilfulness, we gritchen way, we have we heaviness, that God our sin of chivalry of lure, departed is with duty and honour, out of this fool a prison of this leave. We gritchen here his cousin and his wife, of his welfare that loved him so well. Can he him thank, ne God wot never a deal, that both his soul and eke himself offend, and yet they move her lustest not amend. What may I conclude of this long series? But after woe he read us to be merry, and thanking Jupiter of all his grace. And ere that we departed from this place, you read that we mang of sorrows twa, o perfect joy lasting evermore. And looketh nu where most sorrow is herein, there while we first amending and begin. Sister, quoth I, this is me full assent, with all the vies here of me parliament, that gentle Palomon, your own knecht, that serveth you with will a herd and mecht, and never hath done sin ye first him knew, that ye shall of your grace upon him rew, and taken him for husband and for lord. Lend me your hand, for this is our accord. Let say no of your womanly bete. He is a king's brother, son per day, and though he were a poor bachelor, sen he hath served you so many a year, and had for you so great adversity, it must have been considered, leveth me, for gentle mercy achte to passen recht. Then said he thus to Palomon the knecht, I truth there needeth little ceremonying, to make you assent to this thing. Come near and take your laddie by the hand. Betwixt him was man and on the bond, that hicht the matrimoine or marianja, the all the council and the baronanja. And thus with all the bliss and melody, hath Palomon wedded them Elia. And God, that all this wide world hath wrought, send him his love that hath it there abocht. For nu is Palomon in all well, living in bliss, in riches and in hell. And Emily him loveth so tenderly, and he her serveth so gently, that never was there no word him between, of jealousy or any other thing. Thus endeth Palomon and Emily, and God save all this fear come back near. Amen.